Are you tired of throwing AA batteries at your DX5C? Hey guys, welcome back to the workbench here at 10 Scale Adventures. And today I wanted to talk about not so much something with one of the trucks, but the transmitter, the critical piece in which makes it so we can have so much fun with these little trucks. Now, I run, as you can see here, a DX5C transmitter. These transmitters are notorious for killing AA batteries. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I was eating a set of 4 AA batteries in 1 to 2 outings, meaning I was going through a lot of AA batteries. And AA's aren't cheap. If you have to buy them when you're actually out and you stop at a convenience store or a gas station, something like that, to pick up a 4-pack of AA's, you might be dropping $5-10 on 4 batteries. Or if you're smart and you planned ahead, you bought your batteries off of Amazon, for instance, you can find a 48 pack of batteries for $20. But they're non-reusable, they don't last, and when you have a controller that is a battery hungry controller that just eats through them, you go through a lot of batteries. So I finally got tired of it and decided I wanted to make a change. No more AA batteries. Now my controller runs on a 2S Lipo. This is a 1000 milliamp hour 50C 2S Lipo. It's probably was intended for some small mini drone, something like that, but outputs plenty of power to run my transmitter, and I can go probably up to about 6 to 8 hours on one of these batteries. Even better, if I'm going out for a long time, I take two. A 2-pack of these batteries is $20, 21 and change, I believe, on Amazon. I'll put a link to these exact ones if you want them in the description down below. But these 2 batteries have been a gold find for making my controller not only run longer on a single battery, but also not to be spending residual money over and over again on throwaway AA batteries. So I did play with some rechargeable AA's for a while, but they required a special charger bank in order to charge them. And the run times on those wasn't any better, or was actually worse than running regular AA's, and it was really inconvenient. By utilizing these batteries, I'm able to charge them with the same charger that charges the batteries for my truck. And like I said, they have a fantastic runtime. They're small, they're convenient, they're lightweight, and best part, I have a charger that's got a dual port charge on it, so I can charge a battery for the truck and a battery for the transmitter at the same time if I really need to. Now, the next thing is, you want to know, how did I do this? So right out of the gate, the first thought is, okay, AA batteries are 1.5 volts each, and you got 4 of them, meaning that this controller is running at 6 volts. Well, when a 2S Lipo is fully charged, you're at 8.4 volts. Can the controller take 8.4 volts? Yes, the controller can take 8.4 volts. And pop the battery in here real quick. Put the leads in. Connect my battery. So, there we go, let the controller, all right, here we go, and put us up and see if we can get it in there so you can see it. A little bit of a glare. There we go, no glare. So you can see it's reading about what looks like 8.3, yeah, 8.3 volts right now on a 2S Lipo. Now, what does it take to put a Lipo battery into the controller? How much work is it, and what did it take for that to actually function and not be any problem? It's actually not a lot of work. So if I take this battery back out of here, and then I have a little piece of foam in here that all that does is fill the extra space so that the battery stays nice and firm and in place. and my controller has a JST connection on it now. This was not originally there. So originally, and if you have a DX5C, you'll recognize this little bit. So those two little screws held this battery tray, the 4 AA battery tray, in here just like this, obviously without a lead not sticking out. So that wired up inside there, and you got your battery tray that's down inside your controller like this. So you take those two little screws out and you take your battery tray out. Once your battery tray is out, you can cut the leads off, toss it aside. Now the lead that's remaining, and if you look closely, you can see right there where that black electrical tape is, right there. That's where I spliced the lead. Now that's not a lot of tail to work with, and if you're good with a soldering iron and shrink wrap, you can work with that area right there without issue. But I actually didn't do it right there. I went ahead and I opened up all the screws on my controller, split it open, and spliced it up in this area of the handle so that I could secure and hide where the actual splice is in a place where there's no location. And that's it. All you have to do, splice on a JST connector, make sure your polarities are correct for your with the battery, and close it back up. If you want a little piece of foam to fill the gap, and then put the battery in. It's that simple, and you can convert your DX5C. Battery goes this way. That's just because of the way I'm broken. Putting my battery in completely wrong. All right. There we go. So that simple. JST lead, nothing fancy. Plug it in, and we have a 2S powered Lipo battery DX5C, and it works. So there is two things to keep in mind with this, or two things to consider when doing this swap. First of all, the controller, some of you already know about this, others won't because you've never actually looked at it. But let me go into the menu here, and if I go down to settings in my menu, you have a category in your settings. See if I can get that to show right there. That category is called battery. All right, so if you open that category, you'll see right here it says right now it's on alkaline, and it has a voltage alarm which currently is set to 6 volts. Now if you know anything about lipos, 6 volts is a little low. That's 3 volts per cell, and it can be hard on the batteries. You usually want to cut them off at 3.2 to 3.5, depending on who you are and how you run them and what documentation you actually read on them and what your personal belief is. That said, 3.0 is definitely on the low side per cell for 6 volts. Spectrum, and even with the newest firmware update, you can't set that voltage alarm any higher than 6 volts. So if you are going to do this swap and you're going to go to this type of battery, you have to keep an eye on that voltage display after a number of hours, or check it periodically to make sure that you're not over draining the batteries, because there is no LiPo cutoff in the remote at all. So it will drain the battery down to nothing and ruin a LiPo battery. So keep that in mind. The alternative for that, which I'm probably going to be switching over to or adding additional packs, is they make a battery that's called an 18650. It's a similar form factor to a AA battery, except it's a little bit bigger around and a little bit longer. They come in they're lithium batteries. They're 3.7 nominal volt batteries, just like these batteries are, except you can get them with a internal protection circuit. So the protection circuit, or the LiPo shutoff, is built into the battery. And if you take 2 of those and you make a 2-pack, a 2S pack out of them, you get the same voltage out of it as you do these, and you have a LiPo cutoff built into your battery. It can be a little bit more expensive or a little bit more work than using this readily available battery, but then you don't have to worry about that LiPo cutoff not being present in the radio. So that's a great alternative. I'll put a link to one of those down in the description of this video as well. That way you can see exactly what I'm talking about on Amazon for those batteries that have a protection circuit. Now there are 18650s that don't have a protection circuit and some that do. So if you are going to go that route, make sure you get the ones with the protection circuit, because that's the only benefit to going to those over these. So yes, DX5C will run on 2S LiPo, and it's not a hard transition. So stop wasting money on AA batteries. They're inconvenient and they're expensive. And when you think about how much money you've spent on AA batteries, imagine how many upgrades that would have bought for your crawler. Side note, many of you probably realized as soon as this video started, I have a very different wheel on my DX5C. This is a wheel that I designed here at 10 Scale Adventures. It's a bolt-on replacement. If you are interested in that, that's also on the 10 Scale Shapeways store. Jump on over there. I think it's right around $20 or $22, depending on which color you select. They can get that printed up and sent out to you. Until next time, have fun with RC.